Hello everybody, and welcome to the February planner update, or the second planner update of the 2025 season. I'm going to walk you through the books that I've been using in February, maybe a few changes and updates to a couple of these things, but some of this stuff isn't changing a ton, which makes me feel very good about what I'm using this year. So I'm going to start with the least interesting ones, I suppose. So obviously we've got my personal development reading journal. Not a ton extra has happened in here. I've not been doing as much reading the last couple weeks, and I have some reading that I want to catch up on here in March, but we are still going strong. One thing that I am changing in here is I'm actually not going to be doing any more notes on the Daily Stoic in this book, only because sometimes I don't have the time to take this book out every single day to write my notes on it. And I don't know if I necessarily need to. I like to, but I need to kind of let go of the perfectionist tendency of I need to open the book and then write something down that was based off of what I read that day. Like, no, it's okay if I don't write it in here every single day. This can just be primarily for the larger books that I'm reading. And then the Daily Stoic can just be more of a daily read, reflect. And if I have time to write some thoughts down, I can, but I'm not going to force myself into it. I did have to add some tabs because I ran out of some of the colors for things, which also was like, I was like, listen, did you really run out of tabs? Do you really need to write in this every single day with this? And the answer is no, you don't. And if writing in this book every single day is going to inhibit me from actually just even looking at the entry for that day's reading, even on my phone, I want to just do it even if I can't read on it. So that's what's happening in here. Nothing too crazy. Still the same setup as before. Still using my TWSBI medium, which I love, love, love. And then the next book is my Hobonichi A5, which I did fill in for all of February. And I am still loving this book. I finally have had the opportunity to have a couple days where I do write over on the other side. And so when I do write over on the other side, I just go 2025 in parentheses. So I know that the entry on this side was for 2025. I know anything at the very top, if it matches, like, where's a good day? Like, this is very clearly 2024. And then underneath, I wrote 2025. And so I can see where on this side the entries are for the different years. But I really loved filling this in again this month. Sometimes I write a little more, sometimes I write a little less. But again, the A6 for this is very, very easy to do and easy to keep up with. Even if I get behind, if I get like a week behind, if I reference my dailies in my camera roll on my phone, I only take about 10 minutes tops to fill it in for a week if I get behind, which is, I feel like, very reasonable. So yay, February in my 5-year. Now, the newest addition to the lineup has been this little Hobonichi Weeks Mega as my goals and my fitness and nutrition journal. And I did get my Salty Katie cover in. It finally came in so I can protect this beautiful blue cover. It's called Stardust. So this glitter cover on this dark blue is just, to me, just like, I love it so, so much. I still need to fill in from last week, but this was my February monthly. Loved this. Very simple, very basic. My February weeklies, again, I'm not changing how I'm using this week to week. Taking some notes, tracking my vitamins and my steps. I did a whole video on this. I need to finish out this week, but I am moving on to this week already. So I will just go into my apps and pull in the data is really all I need to do. So it won't take me very long. I just haven't done it today. And then for my goals for February, my goal pages, we have, again, here just filled out my sort of top 3 focuses and then my reflection of what's working and any wins that I had and what adjustments I maybe want to make for the next week. Really loving this setup still. And I did a whole video on this book specifically. I will encourage you to go check it out. And then this is this week. So I just barely set this one up today. It doesn't take me very long when you replicate things. It doesn't take a lot of brain power to just set it up for the current week. So that is my Hobonichi Weeks Mega. And then my TN, I did something a little bit wild, and I actually pulled out these 3 inserts, which is my monthly, my daily, and my weekly, because I'm having not like a small panic, but I'm just feeling like a lot of my daily touch points that I have are becoming very performative. So I have actually taken these out for now just to see how I feel without them in there, if they change my productivity or my workflow in any way. And it's actually been nicer not having them. The only things that I really miss in the monthly is the quarterly trackers. And then I made these quarterly overviews that I like to reference, but I don't really use a monthly. Like everything in here is just been duplicated information or performative tracking. Like there's no real purpose to it. That's what was kind of causing me to experience some overwhelm. I'm just like you can tell this is kind of where I fell off in here. I'm like, why am I needing to touch this every single day? I'm having this moment of like, are my planners and journals helping me or hindering me? And because I have all these extra things that I'm tracking in my weeklies and setting them up, and I'm like, why am I duplicating the timeline here that I'm also duplicating in my daily? But do I really need the timeline? Because I feel like updating the timeline takes more effort than just doing the work. And is there a better way to do this? Part of the reason I liked doing the timeline in my dailies, and same thing with my like horizontal, I was like, why do I have 2 weeklies? I have a horizontal for personal and a horizontal for work. But the last few weeks, it just started feeling like, oh my gosh, this is so much work to keep up with it all that my planners and journals have to serve me, not the other way around. And I refuse to track or follow through or fill something out just to do it. It has to have a purpose and actually be adding to my life and my day versus causing more stress. And so these are currently out of the mix for the time being. Now, I do want to have the like quarterly trackers somehow still from these and the quarterly overview in the back. But I think what I'm going to do is actually set something up digitally that allows me to keep this information so that I don't feel like I have to house it in here, and I can just go back and update it a couple times a week in my Notion setup, which I'm going to be working on. I will show you guys what I'm doing in my Notion, a couple of updates here after I kind of go through this. And so what I've just kept in here is my notes booklet, and then my dailies, and then my journal. And then I went back into this full-size TN sticker book because I wasn't loving the passport size TN sticker book. So now what's funny is like my dailies were looking pretty solid there for a while, right? Like here's February. Let's go back to the beginning. So February 3rd, looks good, feeling great. These daily timelines are what I was also kind of getting overwhelmed by when I say I was keeping like the timeline for my work hours in my vertical and then also putting it in my daily, but then I also track it digitally in Toggle is like for me to backtrack the information. It's like, okay, why are you doing this 3 times over? And I love the way these looked, and these really were, I liked it because when I do my daily like memory keeping in my A5 or my A6 5-year, I don't always remember like what I did 1 day ago or 2 days ago or anything like that. And that's really frustrating. And so I was journaling on this page. Like this is more of like a in real time how my day is going. And I'm not saying that I'm never going to do this again, but you're going to see kind of the evolution of where things switched very quickly. And also I was getting really tired of constantly setting things up. I feel like this happened to me same time last year where I just had this like, why does my planner feel like work? Why is it not actually helping me? And sometimes you just need to simplify things. And so I just was very over this after a little while. I'm like, what? And then this is the day I even taped the sticky note because I didn't even transfer things over from the sticky note into the daily this weekend, which just actually worked really well. I liked kind of the shorter timeline. So I'm thinking of ordering some more timeline stickers from Randy.plans that are these 18-hour time strips. Here we go. And then here we go. We're going. And then didn't touch my book at all this day. Just at all. Then I said, nope, don't want to talk about it. I didn't want washi. I didn't want anything. I was just like, I just want it to be simple. And then I wrote, I just need some space, but I didn't want to write on this page because I have the band right there. And then I did this and my brain was happy. I don't understand why. It just worked. So I have a little sticky note with a couple notes, very much messy rapid logging through this. And then here's today, Monday, March 3rd. So this is really helping. And then the other thing that is helping that is reducing my overwhelm is I've actually created an inbox system in my Notion, because I've created a master personal task manager and a work task manager that I can reference on a daily basis. Because here's the thing, I will put things on my to-do list and I know that I'm not going to get everything done that day, but I need like the high priority stuff in my face so I can organize the day, if that makes sense. Okay, I know that this, okay, that's been pending for a couple of days. That has to get done. But I don't want to have to constantly migrate things or set things up. I just want to be able to open my book and use it right away with minimal migration, minimal everything, which normally the migration process is something that really helps me. And I like to do the day on 2 page so that I am only focused on what is on that day. But I don't know why, but the constant migration and all of the things that pop into my head that I need to write down and have a landing place was just starting to overwhelm and cause me stress. So for example, on Friday and Saturday, I was still doing stuff from this day, if that makes sense. But I didn't have to migrate it because I could see where it was still open. Then when I turned the page is when I went through and closed out anything else that was still pending, right? And so then I started a new page. And so I think what I'm going to do is just more of the rapid logging in like the more traditional rapid log sense of a bullet journal system. And then I'm going to leverage my Notion resources to help me stay more organized. I switched to Notion recently because it allows me more flexibility than just my Apple Notes does, because I was realizing that just dumping things into my Apple Notes, it was very hard to keep it organized. And it took a lot to organize it when I did go through and organize it. And even though it's searchable, that doesn't mean I'm going to remember what I put in there. Like I have to have a landing place for all the things so that when I go through and reflect and review, I can see where everything is and go, oh yeah, that thing, I need to bring that into play. So I'm going to show you guys real quick how I have set up my inbox process and routines in my Notion that's going to complement my bullet journaling here. That's part of my February journaling overview. This is not going to be like an in-depth dive of how my Notion is set up, but I wanted to show you what I'm doing with sort of that like inbox overflow of tasks. So first things first, this is my business task hub. And I have set up in my business dashboard, which is where I spend most of my day, a synced block that has a quick little button for personal inbox, work inbox, and also content ideas that I have as the days go on. So if I need to write something that is like, okay, I need to have this information, but I don't need to do anything with it right this second, I can come back to it in a day or two, I will create a new task in my work inbox. And when it's checked with this blue, that signifies that it is an inbox item and not yet a task that has a category or priority or anything like that. So this is very easy for me to go test item. And then I can click out of that. And then I also have a personal one, which is the same. Here's my inbox. Now, there's only 3 things in my inbox over here, but the trick to this is that after one day, everything that's in the inbox gets funneled into a sort me section. So I'm going to actually go to my Biz Task Hub. So this is the inbox, okay? I have all these different views that I sort and put in different places, but then I have this one view that says sort me, okay? And this currently has nothing in there, but anything that is beyond 1 day old from the inbox gets sorted into the sort me. And I have a recurring task that I've created, recurring task templates, just to pop up a few days a week to tell me, hey, you need to go and sweep your inbox, okay? I have something similar in my personal task hub where here's my inbox, and then I have sort me. So this is everything that was created more than 24 hours ago. It goes into this sort me. So I can come back to it later when I sweep and either organize things or delete them. but it allows me to kind of just drop whatever I need to drop into the inbox. And then again, I have a recurring task every few days that will repeat, Monday, Thursday, Saturday, for me to go through and sort me, do something with this information, either file it away as a resource or review it and take notes or schedule it onto my to-do list or add it to a priority or just leave it because, okay, I don't need to do anything with it yet. It can just stay here. So that's my inbox system with the sorting that occurs after the fact. And I have that set up for both my personal inbox and my business inbox because I do have to keep two separate ones because I'm self-employed, I own my own business, and then I also have personal things that I have to take care of. So that is what's helping keep my notebook, not nearly as insane and reduce the amount of manual work I have to do on a daily basis because all of the manual work was starting to actually reduce my productivity and increase my stress. Now, if you guys are interested in a more in-depth deep dive into how I set up my inbox that sorts things after a day so it's not all just there in my face every single day, but still has a place to go, definitely let me know and I could do a video on how I set that up and show you guys how I created those sorting and the filtering in that Notion database for both my personal and my business. But for the most part, my books have not changed. So I'm still using a TN. I'm still using my 5-year Hobonichi, I'm still using my weeks, and I'm still using my personal development journal for my personal development reading on a regular basis. So not much has really changed in how I'm doing things. Like I said, the newest edition is going to be the Hobonichi Weeks Mega, and then the only other updates is that I reduce the amount of manual touch points I have for my physical EDC and am using a lot of digital tools to help supplement. Because I don't know about you guys, but like digital tools are great, but they can never fully replace just handwriting your list, your rapid logging, your events, notes on things. This to me is still extremely, extremely essential and it's not going anywhere. So thank you guys so much for being here today. If you have any questions on anything that I showed you today, feel free to leave me a comment down below. I will see you guys on the next one.